Hey guys, what's up? How are you? Hope you guys are having an amazing one today. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Gerel, and in today's video we are going to be playing with some products that I purchased from NARS. I decided to get both the cheek palette and the eyeshadow palette. Here we have the cheek palette, which is called the All That Glitters Light Reflecting Cheek Palette, and I also picked up the eyeshadow palette, which is called the Endless Night Eyeshadow Palette, again from NARS. So let's go ahead and get into playing with these two palettes right here. If you guys are interested in seeing the look that I'm going to be creating, and of course seeing swatches and all of that good stuff, so let's go ahead and get into the video. But before we do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. You can also like this video because, believe it or not, that helps me out so much just for other people to find my channel. So all of your likes are really appreciated. And you can also click on the little bell that will notify you whenever I upload a new video. And without further ado, let's get started. So before we start the video, this is just a little quick reminder that you do not have to purchase absolutely anything. You do not have to feel pressure to buy the latest thing. This is what I do, and this is what I'm choosing to do for my channel, for all of my subscribers. I review makeup, so I'm purchasing makeup with the hopes to continue on doing this as a future job. But I never want you to feel pressure to buy the latest thing. It is very overwhelming when there is a lot of releases, and usually towards the end of the years, many companies, if not all of the companies, come out with so many beautiful things, and it feels a little bit overwhelming. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. So now, with that being said, let's go ahead and review these palettes right here. And I, of course, I'm going to be 100% with you guys like I always am, and I'm going to tell you whether this is worth looking into or not. So, and here we have the eyeshadow palette. This one again is called the Endless Night Eyeshadow Palette. The packaging is super nice, really well done. It does have a mirror, and here we have the color story for the Endless Night palette. So if you are into like warm tones, like reddish, pinkish kind of tones, then this palette is definitely going to speak to you. But if you are not into warm tones, then maybe you can just look down in the description area for timestamps if you are interested in the face palette. Endless Night eyeshadow palette. This palette does have a shelf life of 12 months, and it's made in Canada. So here we have the All That Glitters palette from NARS, which it looks so beautiful. This palette does have a shelf life of 12 months, and it's made in Italy. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the eyes. I am going to be creating two different looks just to give you a little bit of variation, just inspiration in case you did pick up this palette or you have similar colors already in your collection. So I am going to be using a fluffy brush like this. I'm going to start with the crease, so let's go ahead and start with this one right here. I'm going to add it to my crease and blend it up. Do you guys use an eyeshadow primer or do you guys use concealer? Let me know. I want the P. Louise primer again. It's just the shipping cost is insane, but I do miss my P. Louise primer just because it's a little bit closer to my skin tone. Very nice and blendable. It didn't really take that much to build up the color and also to blend it out. Just to give it a little bit more depth, I'm going to add this one right here. I'm just going to really focus that in the outer corner, and just using whatever is left on the brush to bring it in a little bit and just adding it to the crease. I'm going to take a clean brush, going back with the first shade just to blend it a little bit more. Going back to the first brush and taking a little bit of this brown and just tapping it right in the outer corner. Right, so I'm going to take this beautiful shade right here and I'm going to add it to my lid, just meeting with what we have here in the outer corner. It has a beautiful sparkle and it's not emphasizing the texture that I do have on my eyelid. All right, so I'm going to take this silvery shade, just add it to the inner corner. It's a really huge contrast from the warmth that we have on our eyelid. Just bringing it up a little bit. And just because it's so much of a contrast, I'm actually going to add this shade right on top of it. Just tone it down a little bit. I'm also going to add a little bit of this golden shade right in the brow bone. Very little though. Just going to blend it with my finger. So just taking this shade right here with a little tiny brush, and I'm just going to run it on my lower lashes. Really, really, really close from the outer corner to the inner corner, and adding the deep shade, this one right here, and just connecting it with the shadows that we have on the top. And let's go ahead and work on this eye right here. I'm going to take the deepest shade with this What's Up Beauty brush, which is the R102. And I'm going to focus that in the outer corner. Cleaning the brush so I can blend the edges. And just bringing it in little by little with whatever is on the brush. So again, just taking a little bit of this shade right here, tapping it on the outer corner first. That's where I want the most pigmentation, and then when I am satisfied with what we have, I'm going to clean the brush and I'm going to blend the edges, and just using the same brush, just going to bring it in a little bit to create that definition. And I'm going to do this step until I am satisfied with what I'm seeing. So now using this bronzy shade, just going to add it to the outer part of my lid, just connecting it with the brown that we were adding, and now adding a little bit of this red shade right here with a brush to complete the inner part. Definitely not my favorite shade in the palette. It's not that pretty in my opinion. I am going to top everything off with this shade right here. I'm going to start in the middle and just working it from the inner corner to the outer corner. And I'm even going to just pass my crease for it to feather out. I want the inner corner to be super intense, so I'm going to go back to the shade right here, and I'm just going to really focus that right in the inner corner. Going back with this little tiny brush right here and the deepest shade, and just connecting it in the outer part. Really smoking it out on the lower lashes. All right guys, so I'm not going to be able to do like this and this, you know, showing you the eye look, just because we do have the face palette to try. So I am going to be adding a little bit of foundation concealer off camera, just doing like my base, and when I'm ready to use this palette right here, I'm going to bring you back. So yeah, let me do that and I'll be right back. All right guys, so now that the face is done, let's go ahead and move on to this face palette right here. I mean, can you see the eyes? Aren't they so pretty? Like super, super pretty. This one right here definitely speaks to me in a different level, just because I absolutely love these type of colors. And this one is a little bit too warm, believe it or not. Even though I like my warm tones, it's a little too warm for me. So I am going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to really just add it to the back of my cheekbones. That automatically brings some warmth to my face, which I am not mad at all. Pigmentation for this palette right here, for this face palette, is insane. NARS absolutely does it so well. I love how easy it is to blend. So this palette for me, it's a solid palette if you like really like nice beautiful blushes, for it to be like a statement in your makeup. You can also use this ones to your eyes, but just, you know, make sure that you're doing your research. I will definitely be using them for my eyes, just to make everything really nice and monochromatic. So I absolutely love the formula for these blushes right here. Again, you know, you can see me that I'm building them up. They're not too pigmented where it's a little bit too much, but yeah, really enjoy this one. So I am going to take this shade right here, which is more of a peachy one. I'm going to add it to this cheek. Wow, okay. Let me blend it out, because that is super pigmented, but that is so beautiful. It might just enhance your texture a little bit because it has that glowy effect to it. I mean, look how pretty that is. That is so beautiful. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of this red blush to this eye look. Yeah, that is really intense. Oh my goodness, that is really beautiful and pigmented, but again, it's definitely going to emphasize your texture. So just know that if you have a lot of texture, you just don't want things to emphasize your texture. I mean, everyone has texture, but if you don't want anything to be emphasizing your texture, then maybe this is not the palette for you. But look at that. After blending it out, just blending it into the bronzer, you know, and being really light-handed, actually clean my brush right here just so I can blend it out. That looks so stunning. Like, that is like a statement right here. That is so beautiful. you know, talking about emphasizing your texture, I do want to let you guys know that it does, but just very, very little. I mean, it's definitely not showing all of the texture that I do have. I do have like little bumps right here, and it's being discreet about it. Like it's showing it a little bit, but not too much. And that looks gorgeous. Okay, I really, really do like this one. Okay, so let me just take this blush right here with something like this. It's a little bit more fluffy. Again. And I'm just going to add it right on top. Wow, that just brought it to the next level. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? Okay, so if you are into blushes and you don't mind it for it to be like super bold and in your face, you are absolutely going to love this. And if you are like my skin tone or deeper skin tone, oh my goodness, this is going to be absolutely beautiful on you. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are deeper skin tone and how is this working out for you if you have it in your collection. But I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness, can you see that? That is so gorgeous, so gorgeous. All right, so now for this cheek right here, I do want to add this one right here. It's a little bit more matte. I think this is the only shade right here. It's a little bit more matte. I should have added that one before adding this orangey one. Can we actually add it? Let me see. A little bit more subtle blush. See if I can just add it to the cheeks. Oh yeah, okay. It's really subtle, very, very, very subtle. Nothing too intense. It's just a really nice orangey peachy blush. So just going back with this one right here, just topping it off. So this right here, this cheek is definitely my type of colors. Those are the ones that I've been reaching for a lot. And because this is a new palette, I know that I'm going to be reaching for this palette a lot, especially for these two shades right here. Let's go ahead and test the highlighter on this cheek. I'm not going to add it to this cheek just because I do really like how it's making it all really nice and pink. So I'm just going to add it to this cheek right here. So I'm gonna take the highlighter. NARS highlighters are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They're really nice and smooth, very silky on the skin. They just blend like a dream. Well, let me know in the comment section down below which one it's your favorite. And let me just do my lips so then I can just do this for you guys so you can have a better idea of how it looks. All right guys, so here we have the final look, and here is look number 1. And here we have look number 2. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about these palettes right here. Let's start with the eyeshadow palette, the Endless Night eyeshadow palette from NARS. And I do gotta say that the formula, it's a solid 10. It is absolutely beautiful. I am very impressed with the versatility of this shade right here, just because it gives you so much depth, but at the same time you're able to like just use a very tiny amount of it and just bring it to the crease, and it blends out so beautifully. And I'm very, very impressed with this shade right here. I do feel like there is something missing from this palette in particular, maybe like a brow bone peachy kind of shade that is matte. I think that that's the only thing that it's missing instead of this not so beautiful shade. I know. It's just not my favorite, definitely not my favorite. Even like the texture of it, because it's a satin finish, it's just not my favorite color or finish of it. So there's nothing too special about this shade. The 8 other shades, so they are just working fine. I do really like this shade in particular. I do feel like we have seen many times over and over again shades like this from NARS, because I do remember having like several palettes that do have these type of shades, and this one right here, I mean, they're just like classic ones. Again, the color story is not unique. You might actually have all of these shades in your collection already, but it's the formula that I'm really reviewing. It is really nice and beautiful. If you are into these warm tones, or you just a collector from NARS, or you just wanted to know if you were to buy this palette, if it's worth your money, definitely it is, because the formula, again, it's really nice. Super subtle when it comes to the shimmers. They're not super sparkly, so it makes it more wearable. I do like the silver shade a little bit more, just because it really packs a punch. But the rest of the shimmers that we have here, even though they are really intense and pigmented, the shimmer is not as intense. It's definitely a little bit more subtle, more wearable in my opinion, if you are trying to wear these colors to go to work or something like that. But yeah, now when it comes to the face palette, now again, the packaging is beautiful. I absolutely love that it has such a big mirror because it makes it so much easier if I was to travel, which I have gone to many trips and actually just brought a NARS palette for my cheeks, and I have been super happy to use it on my cheeks and on my eyes like I've mentioned before. And this palette definitely did not disappoint. The cheeks speaks for themselves. I mean, they are really nice and beautiful. I really don't know if it's going to work out for all skin tones, so if you are very deep in skin tone, you're going to be limited. You're not going to be able to use all of them. That is just my opinion, but again, let us know in the comment section down below if you are deeper skin tone, if you purchase this palette, how is it working out for you, because it's definitely going to help, you know, the whole entire community if they are thinking of purchasing this palette. Now again, the colors like this one right here and this one's, they are just super like intense and metallic. You can definitely build it up to be even more intense than what I did. I tried to, like, you know, blend it out just to make it a little bit more wearable, but still very much intense. This is not going to be your palette for every single day unless you're looking for maybe these two shades right here. Again, you have to see this palette and see if all of the shades that it carries is going to work out for you. If you do not see yourself reaching for all of these shades right here, whether it's on your eyes or on your face, then it is not going to be a good purchase in my opinion. Now, you know, you do what you need to do, but if you see yourself reaching for this palette and you can see yourself using every single shade, then it's definitely going to be, you know, a better fit for you. In my opinion, for me as a reviewer, I absolutely love that I picked both of them up so I can review it for you guys. But as a consumer, because I do have several palettes from NARS, I mean, this one is absolutely stunning, but I think that I could have skipped it. But the formula for this particular palette is outstanding, amazing. I love it so much. I told you that it emphasizes your texture because everything is going to be emphasized when you add highlighters. Some highlighters are really going to emphasize every single little line, every single little bump, and this one does, but in a really nice subtle way. It's not overly emphasizing your texture, so you're going to be able to see your texture, but it's not overly emphasized. It's really well done. That is the one thing that I do have to say about NARS highlighters, that they are just so beautiful on the skin. For me in particular, I definitely see myself reaching for the cheek palette a lot more than the eyeshadows. The eyeshadows, it definitely is an occasion palette for me, so if I don't want like my sparkles to be too sparkly, I can see myself reaching for this one right here. But yeah, that is it for this video, my friends. I am going to link everything down below. If you do use my links, they are affiliated, so thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really truly appreciate it. It goes back into my channel 100%. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love, your time, and support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you next time.